A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Today inshallah we are going to learn how we can put stress by repetition. Now this is something that all of us are familiar about, and well, we use it all the time in our daily life, okay, be it any language. Okay, so this is something that should be very, very, very easy to grasp, inshallah. Okay, now this repetition thing, or the physical repetition thing, is called تأكيد لفظي. Okay, let's just give you a little background about it. So the repetition can be of two types. Okay, it can either be an actual physical repetition. So in this kind of repetition, you're going to repeat the word itself. For example, do it, do it. Okay, so here I have actually repeated the word or the phrase. Okay, so this is one kind of repetition. This is called تأكيد لفظي, because you are repeating the word itself. تأكيد لفظي. Okay, now another kind of repetition is the one where you don't exactly use the same word, or you don't exactly repeat the same word, but you use a similar word to that word. Okay, so you use the repetition either in the figurative sense, okay, or you use its synonym. Okay, so that's something that we are going to learn in another lesson, inshallah. Actually, it's going to be the next lesson, and this one where you use a figurative repetition, as I like to call it, this is called takide manvi. Okay, manvi from mani. Okay, and once again, I'm not going to ask you to remember or memorize either this term nor this term. Okay, it's totally alright. Simply understand the implication and try and learn how to spot these things. Okay. Alright, so let's begin our lesson. But of course, before doing that, we're going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this task easy for us to teach as well as to understand. So, Rabbi Yasir, Wala Tu'assir, wa Tammim bil Khair, Amir Rabbal Alameen. And you all know this figure by heart by now, I'm sure of it. Okay, so, and the one that we're going to address here in this lesson is going to be this repetition. Okay, so this is repetition of the physical word, or simply takide manvi, I'm sorry, takide lafzi. And right here, using the special words, is the one that is takide manvi, where we use the repetition of a similar word, okay, that enhances or emphasizes, but it is not the repetition of the same word itself. Okay, so this one is Takide Manvi, and we're going to address it in the next lesson, inshallah. Here in this lesson, we're going to be doing repetition via the word itself. So in English, for example, we have the examples of duck, duck. Now, if how or when do you use it? A verbal warning to someone about to be struck on the head, for example. Okay, that's when you warn him, you tell him to duck. Okay. Similarly, turn left, turn left. All right, so you can see that this is the physical repetition of the entire phrase, and here it was a physical repetition of the entire of the word itself. Okay, so a repetition of command to ensure that the other person doesn't turn right. Okay, so this is something that we are all familiar with. Now, what happens in Arabic is, well, it's no different actually. So it's a statement that is emphasized by repeating either a single word, okay, a fragment, or a sentence. And of course, a word can either be harf, fail, or an ism. So of course, these words, single words, can also be used to emphasize the statement. For example, al-qari'atu, mal-qari'atu. Okay, now here the al-qari'a, it means the rattling. Okay, the forceful shaking of something, the vigorous shaking of something, that is al-qari'a. The rattling, what is the great rattling? That is the implication of this repetition. Okay, so you have the first word and then you have the second word. The first word is emphasized by this second word that is used as an emphasizer. That's how I like to call it. Okay, this was our example. Let's study a bit more about this example. Okay, now the same example is here. Now, important terminologies that if you know, it's fine. If you want to know, it's totally fine. But if you want to just, just steer past, just steer clear of them, it's totally fine then as well. Okay, it's totally fine if you don't want to remember or memorize these terminologies. Just remember the concept and the implication. That is it. Okay, so as you can see, we have the first word over here, al-qaryatu, and this is actually the word that needs to be emphasized. Okay, emphasized. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We are going to use this very word again. So we're going to repeat this word. Okay, mal-qaryatu. Here, you can see that it has been repeated again. So this word that has been repeated, it is called, or that's how I like to call it, emphasizer. Okay, so here the first one is the emphasized word, and the second one that is repeated, it is the emphasizer. Okay, all right, now these are the terms that I like. What are the actual terminologies? Since this word is the one that is emphasized, which means that it is maf'ul, we are going to say, or we're going to call it matbu. Okay, this once again is the pattern for maf'ul. So it means it is followed. Followed by whom? Followed by the follower, aka tabe. Tabe means the one who follows, or the follower. Okay, and matbu is the one that is followed. It's the same concept, same thing. The only difference is that of the words. Otherwise, emphasize and emphasizer do the job to get the concept across. Okay. Similarly, if you don't like the concept, or if you don't like the words of tabi and matbu, you can also look at the terminologies of muakkad and ism taqid. So muakkad, once again, it's the pattern for ism maf'ul. So, muakkad, once again, is maf'ul, so emphasized, and ism taqid is the one that emphasizes it, so emphasizer. Okay, I like to call, or I like to call these words or label these words as emphasized or emphasizer. It's way easier to remember, for me at least, and that's the concept, or that's the same thing that I'm going to impart to you guys. If you guys are fine with it, it's totally all right. Okay. Otherwise, I already have given you the easy words over here. But as I always say, the concept and the identification and understanding the implication of these concepts is more important than fiddling with the terminologies all the time. Okay, so try and understand these concepts. That is way more important. Okay, now the thing that you must remember is that the i'rab of tabe and the matbu must remain identical, or simply the i'rab of the emphasized and the emphasizer should be identical. Okay, that's all you need to remember. Now it's example time. So first of all, we have this example, kalla saya'lamuna, summa kalla saya'lamuna. Now here the entire phrase has been, actually it's a sentence, has been repeated. Okay, so it's a very stressful thing that cannot be captured in words. Okay, so you just need to understand it. Oh, no, 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 no. Very soon they will know. Indeed, very soon they'll know. This is the kind of implication, or, implication, or the expression that is present in this structure, in this repetition. Okay? All right, next. قد قامت الصلاة. قد قامت الصلاة. All right, now it's once again the complete repetition of the sentence. Okay, the prayer has been established. Indeed, the prayer has been established. Okay, quite easy. Next, sallamtu alayhi huwa. Now, Remember how I told you that pronouns can also be used as emphasizer, right? So here we have it. Okay, sallamtu, once again, this is the fail mazi, and the pronoun, the rafa pronoun that's embedded in this sallamtu is ana. Why? Because of this tu. Okay, sallamtu, it means I said salam alayhi, to him, and this huwa is actually emphasizing this jar pronoun over here, he. Okay, so salamtu alayhi huwa, I said salam most definitely to him. Okay, so this huwa has or rather this huwa is the emphasizer of this he. Okay, so that's the thing that you're going to understand, that I said salam most definitely to him. All right. Next, we have zahabtu ana. Once again, the same expression, or the same demonstration of the same concept, that you use the pronoun as emphasizer. So zahabtu, once again, zahabtu is your ana. Okay, it's fail mazi with the rafa pronoun of ana embedded within it. Zahabtu, I went. Zahabtu ana would be I myself went. Okay, so notice how this thing here has emphasized this ana, right? So zahabtu ana would be I myself went. Okay, so this ana here is the emphasizer, and this embedded pronoun of ana is your emphasized noun. Okay, next you have wa ja'a rabbuka wal malaku saffan saffan. Once again, this is the emphasized noun, and this is the emphasizer. Okay, and your Rabb will come, or rather, it means to that he will show himself, and the angels will be all lined up in countless lines. Now, in countless lines is the imagery that is provided due to the presence of this emphasizer, this blue one. Okay, and the safan is the word that is emphasized. Okay, so this was quite simple, fairly easy and logical. I hope that you guys have understood it, and in the next lesson, inshallah, we're going to see how we can use takide manvi, and that is the one that uses similar words um, in order to repeat, or in order to emphasize on a certain concept. All right, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al Hakim. Allah Hafiz.